One. And we're here.
Hey, we're here.
We're here on a Monday at
Hey,
12:30 Eastern
it's
Time.
December 1st. It's the first day of the 25 days of Christmas. Welcome to the
25.
Legends Clubhouse. As always, I am Bobby. Who's that Santa in your chimney caboose? I'm always with this co-host of mine. Lawson doesn't get a present on Christmas Day because his birthday's after Christmas and no one cares. Lawson Turner, how are you, man?
Bro, it was a hell of an interesting weekend from, you know, for the majority of, cuz I already know how you feel about a particular quarterback that I'm sure we'll get into. But overall, I'm great. How are you?
I'm all right, man. We're here on
Mhm.
another manic Monday. Hey, I wish it was Sunday. You know why?
Cuz
Because that's
Sun
my fun day.
is your fun day.
But anyway,
Mhm.
we are here on a Monday. It's the a good way to start off our week. What'd you do over the weekend, man? I know we had the Friday show and we recapped our Thanksgivings and
Mhm.
Black Fridays. Small Business Saturday was Saturday. Today is Cyber Monday, which hey, we're cyber right now.
We are
So
via. It, they normally have the via satellite. We're via cyberlight.
yeah,
Uh,
we are via cyber today.
mm.
Um, you can find the best deals here at the Legends Clubhouse. So, what were you up to this weekend besides watching a lot of football?
Up to this weekend, besides football, just basically eating a shitload of leftovers because that's normally how the first couple days post Thanksgiving go. Because for the most part, depending upon if you go to somebody's house or if you host, there's normally gonna be some leftovers.
Yeah,
And that's basically what I did all weekend. Was I enjoyed the leftovers because there are some dishes and food that it's just better. It's better the next day, and
yeah.
and a lot of it was just better the next day, which led into college football rivalry week, and then there was some cool basketball stuff going on. But other than that, yeah, it was just a normal, nice, chill, relaxing week. What did you do over the weekend?
What did I do? We went a little Friday shopping on Friday. Went to a couple stores, got some minimal Christmas shopping done.
Mm-hmm.
But so interesting story, man. So we go to the Salvation Army because I had to pick up. So every year it seems like we get invited to at least one ugly sweater party. Um, and I don't know if you know the history of ugly sweaters, Christmas ugly sweaters, but like in the 80s, there was vintage ugly sweaters that they weren't made as a joke, right? They were made for like people that like legitimately wear. I'm sure if you've watched any kind of Lifetime Christmas movies or the Lifetime style Christmas movies that they have on Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see a lot of these type sweaters on display. I am one to not order something online because I think that's cheating. I think, to go to an ugly Christmas sweater party, um, you must find an ugly sweater. So, yearly I go to the Salvation Army because that's where you can get the try to find some vintage ugly sweaters.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say the girlfriend is not a big fan of the Salvation Army, and that's fine. I usually go there for Halloween. Um, Costumes, cheap, you get cheap clothes there. You're not going to spend more than like $10 there. Fortunately enough, I don't have to do my regular shopping there, which, again, like I'm not trying to bash people that do. If you're in that certain means, then you definitely, it definitely is a handy place for you to get, some cheap clothing, even though it's, hand-me-downs or whatever you want to call them. But anyway, she's a little hesitant to go in with me, and we're joking out in the parking lot, and she's like, well, I just don't want to see like a fight or something because like we see like on Instagram and social media, TikTok, things like that, that, Walmart fights break out around the holiday
Uh huh.
seasons and stuff like that. And I was like, no, no, I was trying to reassure that, the Salvation Army is probably fine. Like the people that usually shop there are, like, they seem to be like, more grateful for things. So we get in there and I find this awesome Christmas sweater. By the way, I'll wear it on the show more towards Christmas time. It's
Yes.
got an awesome T-Rex on it, and he's chewing a present. Um,
Nice.
so we're in line, and this line is like, I mean, it's from the cash registers to basically the back of the store. So we get in line and we're waiting there for a few minutes, and there's these two women behind us, and all of a sudden, they're they get distracted and they don't move up when we move up. So there is a little bit of a gap, but it's not enough to be like, oh, those people aren't in line, because there's a ton of people behind them.
Mm.
So this foreign gentleman just stands behind us. And I tell the girlfriend, I go, this, kind of like under my breath, I was like, this dude over here, he kind of just cut in front of these women, and you know, so these women notice pretty quickly, and they're like, "Hey, you just cut in front of us. We were behind this couple."
Oh god.
And so I'm overhearing all this. I'm not getting involved. And the guy goes, "No, I wasn't. No, I didn't. I didn't cut. I've been here the entire time." And he wasn't. Um, and so he tries to convince them that he's been standing here and they just didn't notice. And they're like, look, we know you just cut, but hey, it's the holidays. We're not going to make a big deal about this. Just whatever.
All right.
So the dude then goes and says to one of the women,
Oh
hey,
no.
you have beautiful eyes. Are you married? So first he cuts.
That's exactly
And
what. That's. I mean, what else do you say in that situation?
I guess just spit some game, I guess, and
Hey man.
see the situation. So she's like,
I just
yes,
thought
I am.
about it. That's how you get their attention. You cut them in line.
Hell, I
Tact,
mean,
tactical move. Tactical move.
techniques, techniques. There we go. You corner them,
Write
right?
that down.
They
Write
don't
that
want to go
down.
back to the line. Now they're forced. That's a great idea. Now they're forced to talk to this guy. But anyway, so she says, yes, I'm married. Blah 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 blah. Some more conversation that I don't hear
Mm-hmm.
goes on, and I will get back to them in a minute. So last year when we do this, I find an ugly sweater and we're in line. And while we're in line, because the line is pretty long and it's taking a little bit. I found actually another Christmas sweater last year while I was standing in line to purchase my one that was way better than the one I already had. So I had the girlfriend stay in line, go take go to the aisle where the sweater was, bring it back. Which one should I get? Got the one that we, just
Mm-hmm.
found. It's a cat sweater. The cat is upside down, stuck in a stocking. It's
Nice.
hilarious. It was in the women's section, which most of them are, but this one was like 4XL, and let's just say it could fit me and another person in it, and it comes off my shoulder, which is
Nice.
awesome, right? So so this year, the reason I say that this year, we're in line, same thing. I'm kind of keeping my eyes out. The girlfriend says, "Hey, did you see the stuff up front? Because there's a something Christmassy hanging up there." I go, "Okay, let me go check it out. You wait in line so we don't lose our spot." So I go up there and I'm looking, and all I hear is "fuck you, bitch," and I'm like, "What the fuck was that?"
Someone talking to me?
And so I'm like, and then the lady proceeds to say, "Fuck you, bitch. Fuck your mama. Fuck your family. Fuck you, bitch." And I'm like, Jesus. And
Yo.
she's like, I am like, what the fuck? So like, I turn around. I don't
Damn.
see anyone interacting with this lady. Like, there's no response. There's no anything. She marches in the back of the line. She goes back up front. Don't know what the fuck's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I come back to the girlfriend. I tell her, there was nothing up there. This is a sweater that we're gonna go with, and she's like, I asked her, I go, did you hear that lady? And she goes, no. And I was like, you didn't hear her? And she like yelled and shit. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. She's like, which lady? I point her out. Well, finally, when we get to the front of the line, the lady she's got 3 carts full of clothes that are like over pouring. She's ripping the fucking hangers out, smashing it on the counter. I'm like, oh, this is wild, right? She's literally getting her whole family a whole new wardrobe here, which, that's what you want to do, and that's what you're gonna wear. Great, but I'm still baffled on like there was nobody that she was talking to. Like I don't know if she was talking to a worker, someone in line,
On
no
the
clue. There
phone,
was
no
no interaction.
idea.
Nope. So we get out, we cash out, and the Salvation Army by the house is in a strip mall. So we were like, all right, well, there's a store that's owned by Dick's Sporting Goods in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's called like Going Gone or something, and it's got basically the same apparel. So we were like, okay, let's go in there, see if there's any deals. So we go in there, don't find anything. And I don't know if you guys have Ollie's down south.
Nah.
Ollie's is like what it's similar to I guess the best thing to describe it is like it's like a dollar store, but it's not a dollar store.
Mm-hmm.
But like it has like similar things. Like but they're more expensive. Like they're
Gotcha.
like it's just like there's rugs and there's chemicals and there's toys and there's books and just pretty much anything that you could find at like just a convenience store, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like, some stuff are just in a tub and it's like, oh, all items $5 and you can find extension cords or,
Anything and
bobble,
yeah.
whatever the fuck. You're right. So we're in there and we see the 2 women that were standing behind us at the Salvation Army. So we go up to him. I'm like, man, I can't believe that dude cut in front of you. And she's like, right. And she's like, and I called him up. I go, I didn't try to eavesdrop, but, I was right there and I heard a lot of the conversation. So she's like, yeah, he's asking me if I'm married, trying to like blow it off that he just cut in front of me. And I was like, yeah, I know. And so she said that he even went to a further extended his welcoming even further by putting some of his shit in their cart. I'm like,
Nice. What a guy.
right. I go, when is it ever acceptable for a stranger to put their items in someone else's cart?
I've seen.
So,
Continue.
no, go ahead.
I've seen TikToks of people like doing like little pranks and stuff where they'll like it's like they're walking down an aisle at Walmart and they'll ask somebody, "Oh, where'd you get that in your cart?" And then they'll reach into their cart and like just take it like they're finna take it. And they're like, "That's give me my and obviously that oh, I'm just kidding." And it's a little for the most part it's tee hee
Yeah.
hee but example they'll be like a variety pack of cookies or whatever, and then
Hmm.
the guy will say, "Oh, where'd you get those cookies?" And they're like, "Oh, they're on aisle whatever," and he'll say something along the lines of, "Oh, awesome," and just grab them out of her cart and just start
Right.
pretending to walk off, and they're like, "What the fuck did you just do?" And then
Right.
he gives them back and's like, "Oh, I was just fucking with
Yeah, like it's a TikTok prank or
you."
YouTube
Right.
channel, whatever. Yeah, understand that
But
completely. But this guy
just
was
putting random shit in there, yeah, it's nuts.
yeah. And so they had like this like painting like this picture that
Mhm.
you could hang on the wall or whatever, and that was kind of like over their cart, and he's like, oh, that's a beautiful painting, blah 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 blah, and he's complimenting, but she so they're telling us all this. She's like, yeah, you put stuff in her cart, and we're like, what? Like that's fucking crazy, right? And then
Right.
I asked, I go, did you hear that lady like, and she's like, yeah, what was up with that? And I go, do you know who she was talking about? She's like, no. She's like, all I heard was fuck your bitch ass mama. And I'm like, shit, like,
It's going crazy.
my mama's dead. So like if she would have said that to me, that's what my response would have been. And been like, well, it's gonna be kind of hard because she's a pile of dust right now. Anyway, um,
Anyway.
So we so we talk, we talked to these ladies and they were very nice, and they were like, yeah, luckily my nephew came over. Her nephew was like he was young, but he was probably like close to my height, and he had the wherewithal to be like, hey, is there a problem here? And the guy was like, no, 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 like I think so and so is beautiful or whatever. So they tell us, and we're like, okay, making a joke of like, oh, which store are you going to next? Because we've
Right.
seen them in a couple, whatever. So, that was my Salvation Army story. And I told the girlfriend, I go, well, she's like, see, I told you I didn't want to come in here because there was going to be a fight. And I go, yeah, but maybe, just maybe. I go, this was super entertaining. I go, maybe we just go there every week and just like hang out and see if something happens. And she's like, I'll pass.
That's
Because,
hilarious.
she doesn't like when people cough and like don't close their mouths. And that happens often in there. But anyway, shout out to Salvation Army. You're doing great stuff
Yeah, that's
by
hilarious. That's awesome.
making stuff affordable for people. But yeah, that so we had a little bit of a Black Friday memory.
Hmm.
Saturday, we kind of just chill. Actually, Friday night we took edibles and we decorated the house. Story
Nice.
about that. Here's another fucking story, and this will be short, a little bit shorter. But so this is the third year that my girlfriend and I get to spend the holidays together. And for the last 2 years, we've always decorated my house on Black Friday. So, we tell my dad that we are decorating the house
Hmm.
tonight. And his response was, it's too early. And I'm like, no, it's not. We've done this on Black Friday the last 2 years. We'd like to keep up the tradition. And so he's like, well, I got to make for room for this, and I got to clean this and this and this. And psst, it's all bullshit. He didn't have to do anything. He's just complaining. But anyway, so we're going through this, and he's like basically telling me that he doesn't want me to screw the house up, and he doesn't want me to take all these decorations out, and blah 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 blah. So my response was, well, Dad, when you go up at 8 o'clock, all the Christmas stuff is coming out, so you have no
You
say
have
in this.
you have no say.
We
I'm doing it anyways.
Exactly. So we do it. And we bring out the tree, we bring out all the decorations, we decorate the tree, we put up all the other shit. There's like, if you go in my family room, there's like 15 fucking snowmen and other things looking at you. It's kind of creepy, but it's Christmas. And so we decorated, it takes a couple hours. The house looks amazing. Even the girlfriend was like, I think this is the best decor or decoration combination that we've ever done together. I agree. It looks amazing. So, with all this bitching from my dad about this, Saturday morning, I get up and go downstairs, and he's like teary eyed, and he's like, "The house looks amazing." And I was like, "See, Dad, I'm not just a 38-year-old fuck up. I can do things because,
I can
I'm
decorate.
an adult." Yes.
Right.
So, but yeah, so that was my Friday. Saturday we hung out and enjoyed the Christmas tree lights and stuff like that. And hey, my Lions played on Thursday, so I did not watch like any NFL yesterday. I watched a little bit of the big game against Michigan and Ohio State, which I hate Michigan, but I think they got screwed on a couple calls. Um, even from a Michigan State fan, which if you're from the state of Michigan, that's a big deal if a Michigan State fan is giving you, your props.
Mm.
Um, but anyway, watched War Games, and now we're here. But so speaking of the fight in, the Salvation Army, I'll transition into War Games. Were you able to watch Survivor Series over the weekend?
I watched a little bit of it. The majority of my Saturday night and just Saturday was rivalry week. So like, while War Games was going on, it was like on the side, and I was
Mhm.
watching like the Iron Bowl and games leading up to it. So like, I would peep over every now and again, but
Yeah. So according to fucking something on Twitter, apparently it was like the second worst Survivor Series ever. People hated it and all this shit, which I was like, what? According to me, it was great. Um, like the the way Dominic Mysterio beat Cena. Did you see this?
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, dude, the swerve from Liv, like, thought it was awesome. People were bitching about, oh, Dominic needed three women to help. Blah, 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 blah. Well, he had three women plus the Judgment Day. So, we're good on that. I'm very happy that Cena lost. Not because, Cena needed, I'm not happy that he lost, but I'm happy that he dropped the title to Dominic versus like now it gives them the opportunity on his last match to actually win the match.
Hmm.
If most likely he will probably lose against Gunther to push Gunther, but John Cena is John Cena and the, greatest of all time, never seen 17. So it actually gives them an opportunity to win his last match, even though that's not really wrestling tradition.
Hmm.
So I'm happy about that. I love the Liv swerve on like her faking hitting Dom and then kicking Cena in the dick or whatever she did. Um, and the women's war games match was amazing. Io like putting a garbage can on her head and flying off the top of the cage will never get old.
Hmm.
And then we have a mystery man for to join the Vision, which I think will be Austin Theory. My buddy thinks it's going to be Buddy Matthews, or I forget his last, what he goes by as far as his last name. The dude that's married to Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
He might be making a comeback. I can guarantee you though it is not Seth Rollins. Even though he did the curb stomp, he had shoulder surgery, and that would have been a lot for him to, climb up a cage
Hmm.
shortly after surgery. So,
Yeah, unless it's another one of those ruse, which
yeah,
once again, if it is, then that damn near uh delegitimizes any injury news that gets leaked ever,
right,
because it
right.
already happened with the torn ACL, meniscus, whatever he tore,
Mhm.
and then cashed in. It was really okay. So I was thinking about this one because I was watching it with one of my buddies while watching like the Iron Bowl and stuff like that, and I want to get your opinion on this. I like the War Games concept. I think it needs to be its own thing.
I
I
think,
I'm in tradition of bring back the original five on five elimination tag match for Survivor Series, team versus team. That's where, and once again, it might be just a core memory that I'm trying to hold on to. But War Games needs to be its own thing.
yeah,
You don't have to try and add it to a Survivor Series and then change core things about it that's been going on since the dawn of time.
I agree with you somewhat,
Right.
about halfway, because I agree with you that like the Survivor Series should like I thought, I was kind of blown away, not blown away, but like I guess I misunderstood because I thought that every member of the team had to get eliminated in War Games,
No
which that would have made a little bit more sense for the Survivor Series
aspect of it.
pay-per-view. I think War Games needs to be treated like Hell in a Cell, where it's a gimmick match and it doesn't
Hmm.
necessarily have to be at Survivor Series. So that's where I kind of agree with you because it seems like for the Survivor Series to get War Games in, I feel like sometimes and it's more than not that they force the teams in, they force the situation,
Right.
and it's not enough build. Like if you had say, if you go back to the Attitude Era and you had War Games, you could have a huge build up between like DX and the Nation of Domination, which they did, and then ended at War Games. Um,
Right. It's one of those things where now every year around October, there's gonna be just beef between 10 different dudes, and it's all right.
right.
You guys want war games? We're gonna get war games in November. Like this, like now that's the yearly cycle. There's no just team versus team.
Right. And what they could do too, they should try to, since they either own them or in partnership with AAA and TNA,
Hmm.
why not have like a War Games where like five TNA guys like
Take on
you
five
know
WB guys. That'd be cool.
yeah, and they
Like a
they they
takeover.
um they can what's the word? What's the word?
Bird.
Invade. They can invade. WWE and like dominate them for like 2 months. Like these five guys, like not in matches, like just in random matches, they come out and just like beat the shit out of the two competitors. And
Yeah.
like okay, well we have a problem here. Five top TNA guys just keep taking out our talent, and then they have to like go against five top WWE guys,
Hmm.
or like AAA, like do that, bring that in. I think that would be cool. But yeah, like when you start getting like okay, like you got the Vision, and then we're gonna bring in Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre into that, just because they have beef with two guys,
And
like
it's
because
making
they're two
five.
top guys, and like yeah, it's like
Hmm.
the Vision could have just went a six-man tag against Roman and the Usos at that point without having to involve like Cody, McIntyre, who have their own thing going on, and then Brock and who was the other guy on the other team? Cody, Roman,
Punk.
Us Punk. Yeah, Punk. So it's like okay, you just add basically four more guys into something that could have been a six-man tag.
Right.
Um, so I think you're onto something as far as it doesn't need to be at Survivor Series, and it should be more of a um surprise when they use it.
Yeah, because they've done it. I think this is what their third, fourth year of it being at a Survivor
Mhm.
as like the premium Survivor Series thing. It's like once again, it's one of the four pay-per-views you don't really fuck with. So it's like okay, well, towards the end of October, there's gonna be some beef in about the middle of November where they're gonna announce war games between these 10 dudes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And
Hmm.
like, with and if you want to do that, if you want to keep war games at Survivor Series, that's fine. But just have it elimination. Have each one have to be eliminated instead of the first pinfall. That will at least give some nostalgic back to the actual event because the only Survivor Series type match was on SmackDown, and it's like okay, like it's like now that type of match is like the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which is now this on the SmackDown prior to WrestleMania instead of being something, and the winner doesn't even get anything besides a trophy that they just stand next to like this,
Right.
for like a week or two, and then it's
Yeah,
no one cares.
especially like when I was younger, I was always a fan of like the elimination matches because like holy fuck, can he go 1v3?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then just slowly chisel them down one after another after another.
hmm Yeah, and with the speaking of the Andre thing, they need to make that like obviously the Royal Rumble gets to pick the champion of his choice, and usually, because if wrestling was real, why wouldn't you go after the main one of the main titles, right?
Right.
I think the Andre should. I think they should have a title shot at either the Intercontinental or the U.S. Championship,
Yeah,
and I would
one of the undergrad titles.
yeah, and I would actually probably lean towards the U.S. title because that one kind of has a little less prestige than the Intercontinental in my eyes, and I think in a lot of viewers' eyes.
Right.
And you could even do it that weekend. Like you could have like, all right, well, insert U.S. champion, whoever it is, versus,
They're gonna
versus
defend it
question
night
mark.
two.
Yes, they're gonna defend it night two against whoever wins that battle
Right.
royal. Um, on SmackDown. So I think there's a lot of things that you can do with it. But overall, man, I liked the War Games pay-per-view this past weekend. I didn't have any really beef on anything that happened. I thought there was good swerves. I think there was things that people didn't expect, and
Hmm.
uh, for people to shit on it, I think for those people, I think I think they're the same people that like you're like okay, like do you enjoy the product at all? Or are you one of those ones that just bitch about everything that happens?
My thought process on that is the same that I have on like TV shows. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Right.
Don't try and act like you are unless you are a movie critic or a show critic.
Mhm.
Don't try and be one. Be like, oh, that fucking event was a fucking a 2 out of 10, and I want my 3 hours back. Well, you're not. So
Right.
it
And
and I'm always one of those. Think of the parts you did enjoy. So
hmm and as far as viewership, I think viewership was down. I I fucking blame ESPN.
right, because
You know,
Continue.
This ESPN app is like over $30 a month, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Second of all, when it was presented that wrestling was going to be on ESPN, I thought it was going to be the channel. Probably most people did.
Right.
And now, it's like, okay, well, luckily my buddy signed into the ESPN app months ago, and it's still signed in, so I was able to watch it.
Nice. Yeah, my biggest thing is that was when my initial thought process was, okay, well, you're gonna see an initial thing of viewership going down because it's a completely new streaming service, so we'll
Mhm.
see how it goes.
Yeah. So, moving on to yesterday's action, dude. So, did your Steelers end up winning?
No, that's all. No, no. To really like dive in, like if you want to dive into it, like the whole first half was just offensive malpractice, just punts back and forth and turnovers back and not back and forth. We forced two turnovers, but we go into halftime leading 7-3. First play of the second half, strip sack, scoop and score. Now we're down 10-7. Okay, that's fine. Aaron's nose gets busted. He has to come out for a couple plays. Mace Rudolph comes in, goes 0 for 3 passing with a pick, and then boom, down, down immediately. And I'm just like, it. This team pisses me off more than almost any Steelers team I've ever been a part of. Well, not being a part of, but being a fan of.
I didn't know.
Because
I was gonna say, I didn't know you were like the long snapper.
listen, because at least back in the day, we had an offense or one side of the ball was dominant.
Yeah.
Now it's like we struggle to move the ball. We don't have an identity. This is the worst Steelers defense since 1983 from a yards per game perspective. I
Man, I was.
watched I watched this Bills team run the same concept probably 17 times in a row. It wasn't a stretch. It was a little ISO that James Cook would just bounce out every single time, and it's like 8, 16, 24, 4, and I'm like, at what point are we just going to? TJ Watt after the game even said, "I've never seen a team run the same play that many times and have that much success." They rushed for a record against the total amount of rushing yards. I think they finished with 248, or let me double check because it seemed like 1,000. They rushed for 249 rushing yards. That is a record for any visiting team in that stadium ever. Like they held the ball for 41 minutes and 59 seconds. Like it was just that's a long time, and it's just the defense is not as good as it was last year or the year before that, to where even if we have some offensive woes, they're good enough to save us on the back end. I'm tired of my defensive line getting pushed. Our defensive scheme sucks. I don't like we're not doing the fundamental stuff. We're not jamming or rerouting any receiver, so everything's on time. And I'm not saying that because Josh Allen lit us up, because Josh Allen was kind of pedestrian. It was James Cook that went for 177 scrimmage yards. The funny thing is, it's like Terrell Austin. I'm not often for calling for people's jobs. You need to be unemployed.
Yeah.
Like I understand he's been in the league for a long time, but over the past 4 years that he's been our defensive coordinator, you've had the highest paid defense, and it's been mid. I mean, yes, we have
Mhm.
good sack numbers and good takeaway numbers, but other than that, it's like we're getting ran on up and down the field. The biggest mistake was when we let Brian Flores walk out of the door to keep Terrell Austin. That shit pissed me off because I thought it was a
Yeah.
steal having him as a defensive coordinator or a defensive coach assistant or whatever it was when we signed him a couple years ago, and to it it's just getting ran on, and I'm sure you can attest to this. Watching your defense get ran on the whole game is demoralizing.
Oh yeah,
It
absolutely.
is the most, and it's funny because I'm I'm streaming it for my friends because they that they enjoy how much I complain and shit, and things like that, and they're like, Lawson, do you hate the run just cause on Madden you hate the run you hate to run the ball? And I'm like, no, because my grown men on my football team are getting bitched. Like they're just getting bitched the whole game up and down the field, and I'm like, I grew up in an era where my defense was considered trash, and it was fifth in the league.
Yeah.
Like
I
they
think the only thing more frustrating than like your defense giving up like 5 to 6 yards a carry is them getting beat on drag routes because they have no linebackers. Though, like it's like,
right. It's
you know,
demoralizing, and
you're just like there's nothing you can do. You're like, okay, well, if we put 8 in a box, then you're just gonna, pick us apart. Yeah, it's super frustrating, man. And like
the
for
biggest thing
you,
is they are imposing their will on us.
right.
And
Um,
for a team that didn't have either starting tackles or their starting tight end, and they were missing two receivers, it's like, what are we doing?
yeah. But for you, man, like it's completely different for someone like you who is a fan of a winning franchise. I bet it's, because like us, with Detroit, like it's like, okay, like we are so used to it's like, all right, this is what we expect. But like when you don't expect that and you have high expectations as an organization, I'm
It's
curious
so
on like,
frustrating.
if you were able to measure the level of frustration between a Lions fan and a Steelers fan, I
Oh,
wonder what
you
would
guys are
trigger
you guys are sipping the tea because like you have great success. You guys in Detroit over these past couple years,
it. Mhm.
and your guys' success is, oh, we're happy to be here, and
Mhm.
then you get up three scores in the NFC Championship game. It's like, shit, this is our year. And
Yeah.
then like you reach those highs to where, oh, I kind of like it. I kind of like this. And then like for us from a realistic standpoint, it's like, okay, we're entering the year. We're not gonna be dog shit, but we're not gonna like starting out 4-1. Our schedule was kind of cake, and we needed to stack up those wins. But it seems like since that 38-36 loss to uh, Joe Flacco and the Bengals, we just we've been constantly leaking oil, and
Yeah.
there's no, because my friends don't know ball. They ask me, okay, well, what would you change? I'm like, there's not a singular individual thing that I would change, because there's not one thing that can fix all of my team's issues. There's
Hmm.
not. So it's just a and from a big picture, this upcoming draft, we have a shit ton of draft picks. It's like, okay, well, are we gonna draft a quarterback? Are we gonna spin the block and see what Will Howard has, or do they even want Aaron to come back? Because I just I every NFL team, there's a timeline from team to Super Bowl. Where are you on this timeline? Are you
Yeah.
close? Are you working there, or are you not close at all? And me, from a team just roster perspective, I'm like, okay, we're a borderline we're a borderline playoff team that, if right matchups, get drawn up, oh, we can make a run. Uh,
Yeah.
Besides the fact that we've had two games this year where the opposing team has missed both tackles, and we just get. I was about to say a very not nice word. We just get pushed around, and for a dominant defensive and a defensive identity and a defensive team culture, the standard is the standard. Well, this standard fucking sucks, and
Was the not nice word starting with an R?
it started with an M, but that's
Okay.
besides the
That's
point.
how we answer. But anyway, so okay,
Yeah,
so I mean, people in Detroit, man, like a lot of them think our Super Bowl window is closed,
and it's
like
like
already.
you've got
Like what?
all of your star players are young, so they're gonna be together
Right,
forever.
right. So okay, at the beginning of the season, who do you think were the top five Super Bowl as far as odds, like Vegas odds, the five Super Bowl favorites?
Well, I know the Bills and Ravens were tied for one. I'd probably say Eagles, Chiefs, Detroit.
All five of those teams, dude, not looking good. Bills, I wouldn't even say are looking good. Eagles, I'm hoping
Their
that
offense is
people
up and
I'm
down.
hoping people took my advice and took the Bears plus 16 and a half, or yeah, plus 16 and a half or whatever I said on Friday. Hopefully they didn't go the other way. But the Eagles look broken. The Chiefs look broken. Baltimore, what the hell is going on? Buffalo struggling, and Detroit, what the fuck is going on? Now we don't even get Frank Ragnow, who we thought we were gonna have, but apparently he didn't know that he had a hamstring injury. Don't know how you, and a level 3 at that.
You know
Don't
what?
know how you don't
Do you
know
know
that
what?
your hamstring.
Do you know what what a grade 3 hamstring injury is? Torn.
No.
Torn. Grade 1 is a sprain, grade 2 is a partial tear, grade 3 is a complete tear.
Dude,
Torn.
people are like considering this a conspiracy theory, and because they're like, okay, did they just want the fans to get hyped? Did they want to try to hype up the team? Like, how do you not know
Maybe.
you're hurt? Like, I have a broken fucking finger, and it will always be broken because I'm not gonna get surgery to fucking fix my little tip of my finger, but because I'll have to just re-break it, but like, I know it's fucked up. Like, if
And
I'm walking and my leg hurts.
like
Like,
something that is like sensitive as a hamstring, that's the most like, damn, are we dead ass?
right.
I don't.
So it's crazy. Like I think there's a lot of the word's not parallel, but there's a lot of things going on in the NFL this year that we could have like a very unique Super Bowl on like two teams that like I mean at this point the Bears could make the Super Bowl. The Rams, the Colts, insert your surprise team as fuck here this year, and this could be the first year in a long time where we get two teams that are like, okay, like, we don't have a Eagles, we don't have a Chiefs, we don't
Right.
have
It's
insert
like
dominant franchise from the past. Like, you
bingo.
know, Trevor Lawrence could be looking like sunshine, hitting the coach in the back of the neck or hitting Gary Bertier in the back of the head, 60 yards away and throwing touchdown catches to, whoever. But I feel like the playoffs are going to be super interesting this year. Usually, it seems like since they expanded the playoff, that 7 seed matchup, it seems like they never cover the spread.
They just like get
It seems like it's
rolled.
always a blowout the first wild card weekend, and I think that's going to be eliminated this year. I'm looking forward to the playoffs. I hope my Lions get in there, but it's
Mm.
not looking good. They still, I think, have like a 55% chance of getting in there, but they do have a really, really tough schedule coming up. Um, there was another point that I was going to make. There was two things that I wanted to talk about. It was the odds thing, and there was one other thing that I wanted to bring up, and it already slipped my mind.
Lane Kiffin.
No, that Lane Kiffin thing is weird. I don't know much about it, but like, isn't he like supposed to be in the playoffs or something with Ole Miss? But the LSU job is open, so he might jump ship.
Oh, there's no might. He's jumping ship.
Okay.
So, according to the post he put on social media, he wanted to continue to continue to coach and finish the year, but I did what any I said Old Miss did what I or what any program with any dignity would be like. You're leaving us anyways. Get the fuck out, because
Yeah.
you have built this, and I don't think Old Miss should feel any type of way. Because if you would have approached Old Miss and said, before we hire Lane Kiffin, you could sign us up for, I think they've been like 90-14 since he's been there. Like, he's turned that team and program into an offensive juggernaut.
Hmm.
Their defense sucks, but offensively and in college you can somewhat get away with a shitty defense if your offense can just is a fireworks show. And with Lane and Charlie Weiss, who is his offensive coordinator, he's taking both of them. LSU's
Yeah.
taking both of them. So offensively, well, not just offensively. So team wise, you're fucked. I think,
Hmm.
and I understand Lane was probably like, it's not because of a money thing, because Ole Miss was willing to pay him 14 million a year, and the LSU is signing him for 12 million a year. The thing is I think Lane Kiffin can get, Walter Nolan was a beast last year for Ole Miss, but he's having to contend with everyone because Ole Miss isn't one of your blue blood, programs. When if you were to strip every head coaching gig and say, the atmosphere, everyone's gonna believe in and all that stuff, LSU's a top 5-3 job in the nation.
Yeah.
So it's understandable, and I understand in theory of the going, but now Lane, you've been a fantastic coach for a long time, but now spotlight, you're no longer a big fish in a little lake known as Old Miss, where they've been not necessarily a great story, but there's real expectations at LSU. At Ole Miss,
Right.
you can kind of go 9-3, 10-2 every year, and win a bowl game and lose in the first round of of the playoff with the new expanding format, stuff like that, and be, oh well, it's little Ole Miss. Now it's
Yeah.
LSU. The expectations, no matter how bad they've been since Joe Burrow left, because I felt like after he left, LSU kind of went into a little bit of a tank, with
Mhm.
Ed Ogeron, leaving and stuff like that. They've just been kind of, with the whole Brian Kelly fiasco. They expect big things at LSU, and I hope that it goes well, because Lane Kiffin can no longer any team he recruits and stuff like that and say, guys, we need to buy in into something bigger than ourselves. Because
Mhm.
what if now there's maybe one or two jobs in the entire country that's bigger than LSU? But example, Lane, well, we saw you at Ole Miss be in contention and en route to a playoff berth for Ole Miss,
Right.
and you jumped ship and left.
Yeah.
So what makes us think you won't do that here? Oh,
Right.
cause it's LSU. Get the fuck out of here.
So two questions. Do you
Yeah.
think Lane Kiffin is trying to be the next Bayou Barbie? Since that position is vacant since Angel Reese left. And the second question is, if you were in this position, because Ole Miss, like you said, Ole Miss is not a slouch school. They're an SEC. They have been a powerhouse, like in not as far as like Alabama or something, but they have at times been a powerhouse within the conference.
Since Lane's
Um,
been
you
there,
know,
yeah.
yeah, when Eli was there, they have their moments, right?
Yeah.
So, um, would you Lane Kiffin, obviously, you said his record was 90-14. And
Something extremely high. Like
and
ridiculous.
so he has built a culture there. If you were in this position, I know, like, you can rank, the LSU job, you can rank, who else would probably be up there? Bama, Ohio State,
Georgia.
Georgia, maybe USC, maybe Texas, just because of the brand, maybe Michigan. You have maybe probably 10 schools that are probably right there with LSU. Um, Now, if you went to an Ole Miss, or say, like, because Big Ten and SEC, they rule college football, right?
Right.
So if say even if you went to a Vanderbilt or a Purdue, or
A
name one of these lower
Tennessee.
schools, but you built them to a playoff contender. And like you said earlier, the money probably isn't an issue, because with the boosters and the donations, I'm sure if you are a top level coach like Lane Kiffin, they will pay you to stay.
Dude,
Wouldn't you rather be? Because to me, I would rather be at a position where I built the program.
I
I
am the program.
I am. This is what I did. You come play for me, and you're gonna, be at a top-rated program. Instead of jumping ship, because, like, yeah, anyone can go to Alabama and have the spotlight on them, but if you create the spotlight, I think that says more for you as a coach, as a motivator, as a salesman, as a property, versus, oh, I'm going to go to this big brand that is already established, and I'm just going to be the next guy to maintain that brand. I think there's way more pressure. I think there's, it does say something for someone that had built it. Like, Michigan State is a perfect a perfect example because when D'Antonio was here, he Michigan State sucked for years and years and years. And then they had a span of like 7 to 10 years that they were fucking awesome. I believe they were in the first college football playoff. They got blown the fuck out by Alabama, but they
They were
were
still
there. And there
right.
was only 4 teams. And, so I would rather be in a situation like that versus me being a hot commodity and being like, okay, well, you're number 10 in the nation or whatever Ole Miss is. You have a option to, or you have an opportunity to get to the playoffs, or you can jump ship to an already established program that, you know, might be a little down because of the year, because obviously they got rid of their coach, but you're building that brand back up. I mean, I would rather be at somewhere where I built it, and the school is recognized because I brought them to levels that no one thought that we could achieve.
Ole Miss is currently they are currently sixth
Yeah,
in the top
top 10 pro.
25, and their only loss was an 8-point loss at Georgia, a game where they were up 2 scores in. They were up 9. Now, oh, is 9 2 scores? Technically, yeah. So you're up 2 scores in in Georgia.
Yeah.
So I don't in theory, I get it. When Brian Kelly got fired, I'm like, oh, this will probably make Lane Kiffin the highest paid, coach
Hmm.
just due to retention value. I'm
Yeah.
willing to overpay you for you to stay, and
Right.
it just once again, I think
What would you
Lane's
do? Would you stay at the team at the school that you built, or would you leave?
I 110% would have stayed at Ole Miss. This is
Yeah.
this is my thing. I understand that from a recruiting standpoint, LSU's the bigger brand. Where if Lane is the offensive wizard that I think and know and believe that he is, he can get the offense right. But in terms of recruiting defensive players, it's obviously easier to recruit defensive players to LSU than it is to Ole Miss. But the longer
Like right
the
now, even another 5 years, and Ole Miss being a top five team every year,
yeah.
you're gonna get those recruits that LSU gets. That's why, like,
Yeah,
if you
that's
just
it's just the
out,
confusion part to me. Like example,
right?
in 23-24 they were 11th and lost 2 games. And then last year they were okay for whatever funky reason. I'm hold on. Cuz for whatever funky reason whenever I checked the last year, for whatever reason it's funky, it wasn't showing me records. Here we go. And then last year they lost 3 games. And now this year they've lost 1 game at Georgia. And at
Yeah.
Georgia, if you're gonna have one loss, at Georgia's a great loss to have.
Right. Absolutely. And so, we do this, you're switching, whatever. It's the same thing as I always said if I was like a 5-star recruit quarterback coming out of college, I would either go to the Big Ten or the SEC, and but I wouldn't go to a top team. How many Alabama quarterbacks are starting in the NFL? Not many, if any.
Bryce Young, that's
How
about it. Tua,
right.
Bryce Young and Tua.
Right. Like if you go to, again, I'm going to pick on Vanderbilt or Purdue, look at Breeze, but like if you are in that conference on a lower scale team, and if you're able to face these defenses every week, yeah, your numbers might not be, the same as a guy on again, Alabama, who's throwing 40 touchdowns because they're, just superior to everyone. But you're against, because they're not versus the defenses you're versus. You're not going against Alabama. Yeah, you're going against them in practice every day, which is great. But, in game time scenarios, you're going to be exposed to these great defenses. You're going to get more reps against NFL caliber players, and you're going to be prepared for the NFL more than if you were just to, uh, Carl Malone it and be like, I'm joining this fucking franchise and this superstar team just to win a title.
I'll give you a
Uh,
great
you know,
example. Look at Diego Pavia at Vanderbilt now.
Hmm.
You can make an argument he's been now. I think it'll go to Mendoza at Indiana, but it's like Pavia's had a lot of just ridiculous freaking games. Like you look this past weekend at Tennessee. Yeah, he threw two picks, but he threw for 268 and a touchdown. And then he ran for 165. Then the week before that, 484 and five TDs and including one rushing. Like he's had a crazy individual statistical year, to where it's, oh, could he all damn near single handedly will Vanderbilt to a playoff spot?
Right.
Like that's on the table.
Right. And for me, like, doing more with less proves your worth.
Yeah.
If you're on a fucking all-star team who is gonna have 13 first round picks,
Hmm.
dude, like, is an NFL team really gonna take you at quarterback if you have the greatest offense ever?
I
Like, you're
mean,
like,
I
okay,
mean,
well,
look at Mac Jones.
right.
Mac Mac Jones had an unbelievable wide receiving core, and New England still took him very
Look at
high.
almost every Ohio State quarterback.
Yeah.
You know,
JT Barrett was nice for a year.
right? Fucking what's his name got changed the receiver, Terrell Pryor.
Yeah.
It's like, you know. So to me, like, if it's much more impressive to build something or to be on a lesser program, and do what you do against these top rated programs to make yourself stand out. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, weird situation with Lane Kiffin, dude. But hey, Michigan State, dude, we fired our coach, Jonathan Smith. We no longer have, the dude that was talking to Pocahontas. And we now have, I think, who did we get? Ryan Fitzpatrick or something like, not Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's a quarterback. We got some Fitzmagic Patrick something or other guy that
Nice.
I guess is a pretty good hire for us.
Hmm. Yeah, it's really interesting too when there is the turnaround for a lot of smaller schools. It's like, okay, well, this is going to be really interesting.
Yeah,
But I'm excited
absolutely.
for the for your title games this weekend. It's the first time that we have number 1 and number 2. I don't know if it's ranked in just a title game, or if it's just in the Big Ten, because Indiana and Ohio State are number 1, number 2, and they play in the championship this weekend. But I mean, so for your title games, you've got BYU taking on Texas Tech. You've got Georgia and Alabama for the SEC. You've got Indiana, and the Ohio State for Big Ten, and then the Ohio State. One of my buddies, he's from there, and he's a big Ohio State fan. And every single time we bring up Ohio State, he says the Ohio State, just in every single conversation, and it's awesome.
Well,
It's
now we have to say Marcus Mariota. I don't know where that. I missed the player introduction, so I don't know if that was a thing that he said, and then Chris Collinsworth just fucking ran with it. But it got pretty annoying by the end of the game.
yeah.
A great game.
I
Nice
was
shout
gonna
out to Devin
say,
Brooks,
dude,
holding on in overtime.
we had 3 catch of the years in an 8-hour stretch.
Oh
Like,
yeah, who's that dude who's the new OBJ?
uh, Traylon Burks, and what's even more funny is, I think it was drafted in like the second round in Tennessee, and they just cut him.
Yeah.
And
So I mean,
we had
he's
the
one catch just like OBJ and probably be the next most overrated receiver. But anyway, who's playing tonight? We got to kind of wrap up. Who's playing tonight?
we have the Patriots hosting the Giants.
All right, who you got? Patriots by a million? Cool. So, thank you for joining us here
Patriots by a
at the
million, cool.
yeah. Thanks for joining us here at the Legends Clubhouse here on this Manic Monday. Um, we are live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays for the rest of the year at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join us for your lunch. Go get your Taco Bell, your Burger King, whatever fast food, or if you want to make yourself a little sandwich and eat and enjoy our entertainment, we appreciate it. Go over to the YouTube New Leaf News channel, subscribe, make sure you know when we're live, just in case we have special episodes or whatnot. Um, go over to newleafnews.com/network. We have great daily content, whether it's gaming, sports, entertainment, murder shit, politics, you name it, we got it.
Mm-hmm.
We have a great article out by one of our writers, Sema. She put out a article about GameStop's trade-in gimmick coming up. So find out what you can trade in. I think it's everything. I think it's pretty much everything but dead or alive animals and maybe organs. But check out that article. It's phenomenally written and it's actually blowing up on our website. So also, we are on 5 different platforms on social media. So if you have one of the platforms, check us out. Whether it's Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X, or Blue Sky. I am at Bobby Kaboose on X on Instagram. That is Lawson _1226. It's your birthday month.
What?
So get him a birthday gift every single day of this month until the 26th. Start off small, like a keychain, and then end up big, like a Corvette. Just do little bit stepping stones each day. Get him the most fabulous birthday he's ever gotten. Um, until next time on Wednesday, have a great start of your week. I think I'm done rambling. I think it's episode number 96. Who's your
Mm-hmm.
favorite number 96?
Uh, 96 is a. I think Casey Hampton was 96.
Who the hell's
Yes.
Casey Hampton?
Steelers defensive tackle. Early 2000s. 96s
Yeah.
in sports. I'm.
There's only one correct answer, and you did not get it.
Oh. Damn. There's a handful of really good ones.
There's only one correct answer,
I
and
thought
you probably won't get it.
I thought Warren Sapp was 99. I didn't know he was 96.
He was 99.
Well, it says the best players who wore number 96 include a Hall of Fame defensive lineman, Warren Sapp, and Dan Hampton, also Aaron Donald and Jason Taylor. And I'm like, I don't ever remember Sapp wearing 96.
First of all, I know Jason Taylor. Not that Jason Taylor, but I still call him a Hall of Famer every time I see him. And also, second, the best 96 of all time is
Is
Charlie
Charlie who?
Conway, Mighty Ducks. He won. He won. Not only did he take District 5 to the championship, he won for Team USA in the Junior Will Games,
Mm.
and then he took the freshman team and beat the varsity at their preppy school. So he is the greatest number 96. Lawson, if you want to take us out, I have to take a shit.
Okay, well, for New Leaf News and Legends Clubhouse, I'm Lawson Turner, and that is I Gotta Take a Shit, Bobby Kaboose. We will see you beautiful people Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, we hope you enjoy your Monday and Tuesday, and we'll see you guys back once again Wednesday afternoon. Until next time, peace.
Big Dump and Bobby.
Nice.